The strategy that you are using is not working. When you're a beginner and you're starting off on your Forex journey, you feel like the world is against you. Any new strategy that you try for a little bit and then it doesn't appear to work a couple of weeks into it. The same happens when you're a bit more of an intermediate trader. You stick out and you tough out a strategy. You have some good times and you have some bad times, but it doesn't feel like it's working. Why is that? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the layers as to why your strategy does not work, and hopefully once you guys have watched this video, you'll be able to come out on the other side a bit more of a rounded trader and a bit more of a trader that has a strategy that works for them. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Before we begin, guys, if you are new to the channel and you are new to trading, this channel is about helping beginner traders become profitable, giving you tips, giving you tricks, and sharing my knowledge and experience with you guys to help you take some money out of the markets. If this channel sounds like it's the channel for you, then make sure you're subscribing, and if you find any value from this video, make sure you're giving this video a like, and of course comment what you guys want to see in the future. So the first reason why your strategy does not work is that you keep chopping and changing your strategies. Unfortunately, if you're not devoting a lot of time and effort into one strategy, understanding the absolute fundamentals of it, knowing what's happened with your strategy when you've had a losing trade, understanding what's happening with your strategy when you've had a winning trade, how do you expect your strategy to work? You need to find one strategy that works for you and that you're able to put a lot of time and effort into. If it turns out that that strategy in particular doesn't work for you after you've tried it, after you've tested it, and after you've given it time, feel free to move on. However, make sure you're giving one strategy plenty of time to develop to you. And then if it doesn't work in, say, a month or say 2 or 3 months, feel free to switch strategies, but do not keep chopping and changing strategies because you will end up going backwards instead of forwards. The next reason why your strategy is failing you, and it falls quite nicely from what we've just spoken about, and that is you're trying to consume too much knowledge. And I'm actually personally guilty of this. When I first started out my trading journey, I was like, I am going to consume all the knowledge I can, and in 2 weeks time I'm going to be an expert on the Forex market. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. If you want to be a Forex trader, you need to break up the knowledge you are consuming, because if you don't, you will get too confused, and that is why traders fail, because they try and consume too much knowledge, they chop and change strategies, and then they confuse themselves. And that is the key here. Do not confuse yourselves. What you need to do is break up the bits of knowledge you are consuming into bite-sized pieces. So let's take an example. First of all, we want to look at the strategy, okay? That's the first bit of knowledge that we want to consume, okay? We are going to look at the strategy and nothing but the strategy. We're going to fully focus on that strategy, what makes it tick, what works for us, what doesn't, and we're going to get a very good and deep understanding of that strategy. Once we've got an idea of the strategy, then we're going to move on to our next bite-sized pieces. So this might be candlesticks. What is a wick? What is a body? What's the high? What's the low? What's the open? What's the close? Then we're going to move on to market structure, support, resistance. Then we might move on to fundamentals. We'll look at the news, how it affects the market. Will it affect it positively? Will it affect it negatively? How does different news events affect the market differently? Is it going to be dovish? Is it going to be hawkish? Let's find out how different things affect the markets in different ways. And then once you've divided up your knowledge into bite-sized pieces, you're going to set yourself a good foundation to profitability. The next reason why your strategy isn't working is that because the markets are just unpredictable. The greatest traders of all time, Paul Tudor Jones, Warren Buffett, Jim Simmons, all of these people don't know how to predict the market. They understand what drives markets, but they are making a prediction, and sometimes that prediction is wrong, and it is okay to be wrong. It doesn't mean that your strategy doesn't work anymore. It just means sometimes the markets give and the markets take. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. At the end of the day, what a strategy is a way of managing your risk, okay? And that's what you need to do. So when you're placing a trade with your strategy, you're only risking 1 to 2% per trade, nothing more, nothing less. A strategy is a form of risk management, and it doesn't matter, because you can be wrong 10 times and be right 1 time and still be profitable. That's all it takes. One trade, one big winner wipes out all of your losers. A lot of traders, in fact, do have strategies where they lose often, but their winners are huge. And it doesn't matter whether you're Warren Buffett or you trading from your bedroom, people will lose. You need to look at trading as percentage gains over years, over decades, over centuries. And then what you need to do is take that information and see if that strategy works over a long period of time. If you haven't liked the video so far, I don't know what you're doing. The tips that I'm giving you and the reasons that I'm giving you are A1, and a lot of people do not want to discuss this, but I'm peeling back the curtain and discussing it and giving it to you guys for free. So all I'm asking is for you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then just comment saying hello down in the comment section below. So my last and final way as to why your strategy does not work is emotion. What I spoke about earlier on in the video, trying to consume too much knowledge, trying to change strategies all of the time, does not help you and will not help your emotional state. And when I said turning your knowledge into bite-sized pieces, so consuming bits of knowledge at a time, what a lot of traders always and tend to overlook is the emotional impact of trading. They work on their strategy, they work on their fundamental analysis, they work on their technical analysis, but one of the things that is overlooked far too often is your emotions. And your emotions is going to get the better of you 90% of the time unless you have them under control. And I once saw an interesting quote that trading is 90% emotion, 10% skill. And that is completely true. And when traders overlook emotions, and if you are one of those people who have overlooked emotions, don't worry. When I first started out, I did not have control of my emotions. When I first started out, I was chopping and changing strategies. I was emotional. I only wanted to win. I didn't want to lose. And a lot of new and beginner traders, what happens is that they get a trade and a new strategy, they win a couple of times, but they lose once. And that's it. What happens after that is they change strategies. They try to consume too much more information. They get emotional. And that clouds your judgment. And making a judgment on an emotional basis is what leads you to lose accounts. And you guys don't want to lose accounts. So save yourself time, save yourself hassle. And as I said previously, when you're consuming too much information too quickly, bite sizes, look at fundamentals. Look at technicals, and then move on to emotions. Once you've mastered one, move on to the next. Once you've mastered one, move on to the next. And trust me, your strategy will start to work for you, and you will give yourself a good chance at becoming a profitable trader.